I want to throw out a thought that messed with me the first time it landed. I think Jesus didn't show up to make things feel certain. He showed up and kicked certainty over. And that's not how most of us learned it. Most of us were taught that faith is supposed to settle you, calm you down, answer things, tie things up neatly. Like once you've got Jesus, the world should make more sense, and your footing should feel solid. But when I actually look at what happens after Jesus enters the picture, that's not what I see at all. I see more tension, more questions, more responsibility. Before him, religion ran on a system. You had rules, you had categories, you had a pretty good sense of who was in, who was out, and what behavior got rewarded. You didn't have to be perfect, you just had to stay inside the structure. Certainty came from compliance. Then Jesus shows up and starts breaking the machine. He forgives people before they clean themselves up. He touches people he's not supposed to touch. He heals on the wrong days. He keeps answering serious questions with stories instead of definitions. People ask him, "Who's my neighbor?" He doesn't define it. He ruins the category. They ask, "Who's to blame?" He says, "That's the wrong question." They ask, "Is this allowed?" And he keeps pivoting to what does love require here. That's not clarity, that's weight. Because now, there's no checklist to hide behind. Rule-based certainty gets replaced with relational responsibility. And that's where things get uncomfortable. Certainty is light, responsibility is heavy. Certainty lets you point to a rule and say, "I did what I was supposed to do." Responsibility asks, "Did you actually show up rightly for the person in front of you?" Certainty lets you stop thinking. Responsibility demands attention. So when people say, "I feel confused in my faith," I don't think that automatically means something's wrong. I think it might mean the rails are gone. The discomfort isn't a lack of faith. It's the loss of external guarantees. Post-Christ faith doesn't come with bumpers anymore. You don't get to just stay between the lines and call it righteousness. You have to orient yourself moment by moment in real situations with real people. That messes with everyone. It messes with conservative certainty because you can't outsource your conscience to doctrine alone. You don't get to say the rule made me do it. But it also messes with deconstruction nihilism because the collapse of rules doesn't mean the collapse of responsibility. You don't get to shrug and say nothing matters. In fact, more is being asked of you now, not less. Faith without rails is scary, which is why we keep rebuilding them. We turn teachings into checklists. We turn living faith into slogans. We turn orientation into certainty again, just with new language. Because responsibility is exhausting. It means you can't just believe correctly, you have to live attentively. It means you can't just quote something and be done. You have to embody it. It means you don't get to hide behind being right. And that's why comfort faith is so tempting. Faith that reassures, faith that settles, faith that promises rescue without transformation. But Jesus never offered that deal. He didn't say, "I'll make this easy for you." He said, "Follow me." That's not a belief statement. That's a directional one. Follow me means movement. Follow me means risk. Follow me means you don't get to stay parked inside certainty anymore. So maybe doubt isn't the enemy here. Maybe doubt is just what it feels like when you're walking without rails. The real danger isn't uncertainty, it's disengagement. A person wrestling is still oriented. A person questioning is still alive in it. The collapse happens when we try to escape responsibility, either by clinging to rigid certainty or by pretending nothing matters anymore. So maybe the point of faith after Christ was never to make us feel sure. Maybe it was to make us present. And that leaves me with one question I actually have to sit with. Am I using faith to take responsibility for how I live, or to protect my certainty?